You will go and rent a 10 million naira per year 4-bedroom duplex because you think you've arrived. Can you sustain that 10 million naira 4-bedroom duplex till when your royalties will start getting paid to you? Hello guys, good day. My name is Janet Odunye. I'm an entertainment lawyer and music publisher based in Lagos State, Nigeria. You're welcome back to another of my mini educational series where I talk about entertainment law, music publishing, and the music business in general. So today I'm going to be talking about a very controversial topic, and that's on advance payments. So let me just run a short story on how I got into entertainment law. So I was called to the bar in 2017, and I started entertainment law in 2010. How did I even get to entertainment law? So one day I was on Twitter, and one very popular artist was calling out his record label that ever since he has joined his record label, he hasn't received any royalties. People were bashing the record label, bashing the owner of the record label that they are being unfair, they treated the artists really bad, like record deals are exploitative. So many opinions from people who are not music business people. I'm like, okay, I feel like this is entertainment law is something I should just go into and maybe see how it goes, maybe try and help creatives and make sure they are real sorted. Then I got to the entertainment business, into the entertainment law business, and I realized that most of these artists don't review their agreements before they sign agreements, and they are signing away their rights. And when they realize that okay, this is how it truly works, they come on Twitter and they start calling out people that they were cheated off their. And I only see this happen mostly in Nigerian music business industry. So I feel like I have to take this video because I got to realize that so many artists and music creatives don't understand how advance payments work. First of all, there is nothing free in Freetown. Advance payment is not payment for you. It's not free money for you to collect. Then you start spending it on Lucky Baddies. You go to Zaza, you go to Qlux, you will spend 5 million in one night buying drinks, showing off.
Sorry for the laugh. Sorry, I'll first buy Bitcoin first.
Anyway, let me just continue. Advance payment is not free money. Advance payment is a prepayment of future royalties you will get from your songs, from your records. So there are different ways advance payments are paid, and advance payments are recouped depending on your agreements. So now let's go to calculations now. So for example, now a record label approaches you, they want to sign you, blah 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 blah, especially international record labels where they have the money, and they decide to sign you for $100,000. Very good. So let's calculate $100,000 in Nigerian naira. You would think it's big money, like $100,000. It will sort me for life, but $100,000 is small money, even in the United States, when it comes to the music business in particular. So let's calculate $100,000. So I think naira to dollar right now is like how much? Let's just say 1,500. $100,000 times 1,500 is equal to 115 million naira. And mind you, in the next 3 years, we might have another government where dollar exchange rates would have increased to 3,000 $100,000. So it might not be enough money depending on how strong or how weak the Nigerian economy is. So put that in mind. So from that $100,000 now, $100,000, they gave you $100,000 as the advance, and sometimes they don't pay it at once. They pay it gradually. That's why I said advance payments. There are different ways advance payments are paid. Some people can pay the $100,000 to you in lump sum, and some can pay it gradually, maybe in the space of 3 years, depending on how you recoup. So you have to put that in mind. So from that $100,000 now, your lawyer would come, because your lawyer, of course, will negotiate the agreement and will want to get their own legal fees. And according to the rules of professional conduct, a lawyer is supposed to charge appropriately and not charge like someone that is a pauper. So the $100,000 now, your lawyer might insist on taking 10% 5 to 10% depending on what kind of fees the lawyer will agree. So 10% of $100,000 from that same $100,000, because mind you, the record label will not pay your lawyer, you will pay your lawyer. So the payments that will be going to your lawyer will come from that advance. So 100,000, remove 10%, you are left with $90,000. Very good, $90,000. So now again, your manager would come too. Your manager, I'm hoping that your manager is smart enough to get into a proper written agreement with you that yes, this is the percentage I'll be getting as a commission from being your manager. If your manager is not smart enough, oh well, good for you. So your manager too will come, and according to the percentage that was agreed in the written agreement, some can be 20%. So depending on that agreement, your manager would take 20% from that $90,000 or from that $100,000. So let's add 10% legal fees to 20% 20% management fees. 10% plus 20%, that is 30%. 30% from $100,000, that's remaining $70,000. Can you see why I'm saying that $100,000 is small money? Let's continue. From that $70,000 now, the record label would expect you to release an album, to fund the release of an album, of an EP, of a song, depending on the agreement, on the minimum commitments that you agreed with the label. From that $70,000, you will use it to fund the expenses for the release of the song, maybe marketing, music videos, all those things I need to make the album successful so that you can make enough money to recoup the advance from this $70,000. And also from this $70,000 is for your personal advances. It's personal advances to, like, if you want to rent an apartment, if you want to get a car, if you want to just take care of yourself. Some of you will go to Lekki, you will go and rent a 10 million naira per year 4-bedroom duplex because you think you've arrived. Can you sustain that 10 million naira 4-bedroom duplex till when your royalties will start getting paid to you? And let's now go to the second part, royalty payments. On the agreement with that label, you guys can decide that okay, in the agreement 50 goes to the record label, 50 goes to the artist, or 80% goes to the label, 20 goes to the artist, depending on the advance that was paid to you. Do you guys realize that you are not going to be getting any royalties until that $100,000 is recouped? Mind you, the money that can come to you as personal advance from that $100,000 maybe $20,000 alone, because you've paid legal fees, you've paid management fees, you've spent so much on recording expenses, paying music producers, making music videos, and all these things. And what might be enough for you for personal advance could be $20,000. And you've already gone to rent 10 million naira apartments in Lekki. You are throwing parties every night. You are in Q-Lux, you are in Vanity every night, popping bottles. You went to buy a Mercedes-Benz, latest Mercedes-Benz of $30,000 because, of course, now you want to show you've arrived. This might sound funny, but it is not funny. So next time when you hear somewhere or one artist is saying that their record label made $1 million on one song, but they didn't get royalties, they won't tell you the whole truths. Although record label, they have their own in their body, artists together, but the artist will not tell you the whole truths. Even if they don't give the artist money for personal advances, there is a possibility that the record label had paid money for production expenses, for music videos, for optimization, for marketing expenses, to make sure they are getting their money back from all the money they've used, all the money they've invested in their artists. So when some people write some thread on Twitter that record labels are exploitative, please, let's not put sentiments or emotions when it comes to music business. Business is business. There's nobody that is giving you $1,000 for your career as an artist and you expect them to not want to find ways to make that money back, including interests. Yes, because it's business. Business is business. You understand what I mean? The agreement says 80% goes to the record label, 20% goes to the artists. So when the record or the song or the album makes like let's just assume $10,000, so 80% of that $10,000 would go to the record label, and the advance they gave you will be recouped from that 20%. So from all what I've said now, you need to realize that a record label can make profit from your song, but you still have unrecoupable advance or advances that are not recouped on that same song, because of course they are taking 80% from the sales of the song, but you have to recoup from that 20% that they gave to you. And trust me, even that 20, I trust, I don't even think they would even like, I don't even think they would like use all that 20% to recoup, because there might be some little expenses that might come from the 20%, maybe producer points, or you need to pay someone, or you need to pay for production expenses, or all these small expenses. So let's just say from that 20%, 15% still remains to you. So that remaining 15% goes to recouping of your advance. So your record label, they can make $500,000 from your song, but you are still not going to get royalties until they recoup the advance they gave to you. That is music business for you. So if you are not comfortable with this kind of arrangements, it's always very simple. Just go into independent artistry. Be an independent artist. Fund your music yourself. Whenever you want to like sign an artist or a composer to maybe publishing or record deal, the artist is always very eager to ask for advance. What's the advance? I would advise you, if anybody wants to sign you and is offering you an advance, if I were you, I will ask them, okay, what's the catch? Yes, what is the catch? So when you want to like try, I'm a lawyer now, so yeah, I have clients that want to like sign people to their publishing company or their label, and that's always asking for advance. Yeah, what's the advance? How much are you giving me for advance? I just sit down and laugh, because they don't understand. And some people also believe that before any company can sign you, there has to be an advance. See, advance sometimes can be slavery to you and your career. You have to be careful. You have to be careful of any kind of deal you accept. There are some record deals I review for artists, and I'll be like, there are so many red flags in this agreement. This is a bad deal. I'll advise the client, do not take this deal, but because the record label have said so many things, made so many promises, say don't worry, I'll take care of you. They've seen a big figure, we'll give you 50 million naira advance. Or if that 50 million naira advance is not going to the artist directly, so the artist might be very poor, like the artist might be selling shows, selling out shows, selling out studios. The artist might look like they're making so many streams, but they might be very poor, because the personal advance I was giving to them is very small compared to the production expenses and all these advances that might need to be used to create the record and sell the record. So you need to be very careful. And again, there's one thing about advance versus creative control. The more the advance, the more the creative control the label would have over your career, and the less the advance, the more the creative control you will have as an artist. So let me quickly explain that. So for example now, the label that gives you an $100,000 advance, of course they want to negotiate for more creative control for you. So that means they really want to decide the kind of songs you release, the kind of songs you make. They will decide how you look, how you appeal to your target audience. If anybody wants to use your song, they will be the one to have the final say over whether the song should be used for. So maybe for example now, you are a Christian or you are apolitical. You get, apolitical is someone that does not believe in any politics, is not involved in politics, does not believe in political parties or everything. So you are apolitical, you understand, and you collected advance, and the label has a lot of creative control. And maybe one political company, a political party comes to your label and say they want to use your song in a ad for whatever party they are trying to talk about and everything, you might decide to say, okay, I don't want them to use my song for their political gigs or whatever. But because the label has more creative control and they've given you a lot of advance, you really don't have so much say, of which the agreement can say that you waiver any moral rights to the song. That means the right to be recognized as the author of the song and the right to decide who is the song or who wants to be associated with the use of that song. So you get what I mean? But if you have more creative control, you can always decide whether you want to let anybody use your song or not. So record label business is very dicey. As much as I don't want to support the label or the artist, but I need both parties to understand. I need you, the artist, to understand the two sides of it. So guys, honestly, if you ask me, should I sign to that label? The advance is heavy, it will take care of my needs. Should I sign to that label? I will tell you yes, because of course I need to get my 10% from the advance. Nigeria is not smiling right now. I live in Lekki, I need to pay my bills, I need to pay rent. Things are not smiling. Of course, I will tell you to sign. But then, as a good lawyer, I would advise you on what you should expect. I will let you know that if you sign this, you're not getting royalties for a number of times till that song, your advance is recouped. So you don't go 3 years later, you not go on Twitter, you will not go on Twitter and start calling out your former label after your agreement, your term has expired with them. You now start calling them that they cheated you. Those that know how the music business works, they'll just be laughing at you. It's those people that don't know how it was, they would be supporting you and be joining you to bash your label. Meanwhile, you are not telling them the whole truth, that this label, they spent as much as 100 million naira on just your career in the space of 4 years, and they're expecting to recoup it. The only thing about advances is that it's not like a loan where the music company would have to get their money back by force, so maybe you have to drop a collateral. But then your music copyrights, your masters is like a collateral, because most of the time you are going to be giving them ownership of the masters for life. So for life, they'll be recouping they'll be making money from your masters for life. And after you recoup, you start getting your royalties. Also, as a Nigerian entertainment lawyer who practices in Lagos, Nigeria, record deals might be slightly different from how it is or how it is applicable in the US and the UK. So for Nigeria, basically, advances might not be like a sum of payments. It could be in form of maybe the record label getting an apartment for the artist, getting a car for the artist, making sure the artist is comfortable, giving the artist a particular sum per month for upkeep, giving the artist wardrobe allowances. So please note, as a Nigerian artist that is based in Lagos, Nigeria, please note, if you are signing a record deal, all these things has to be stated in the record deal or the agreement you are signing, and these things are not free. All these things will be added to the recoupable advances. So if you are demanding for a 100 million naira Mercedes Benz or a house in Ikoyi, if the record label can provide it, of course they would oblige you, they would pay all that for you. But just know it is not free. They are adding those things, those expenses in your recoupable advances. So you are going to be paying the cost of that apartment back. You are going to be paying the cost of the car they got you back. So please guys, know what advances. If you are going to make demands, make sure the demands are sensible, so you'll be able to recoup on time. That's if it's even possible to recoup on time, depending on how well your song or your record does in the market. So that's basically how it works. Thank you guys for joining me. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye guys.